What's up, Buffalo Nation? Good morning.
My standard is my standard. The way we practice, the way we prepare, the way we perform. My standard is my standard. I have a lofty standard. That's why I'm here.
So today is special. We've got a lot of great stories for you coming up, so let's get started. Our main story is about several comments Coach Prime made recently which shocked the media. Now, these comments were so epic that at the time of this recording, we noticed it hadn't even been uploaded to YouTube like it normally would. Something that I love about Coach Prime is that he's not afraid to mic drop during any interview. Unlike a lot of coaches who repeat the same prepared comments like a pull string Chucky doll, Deion Sanders will break the rules just to keep you on your toes. So grab a pretzel, sit back, and get ready because today we're going to talk about Coach Prime putting on a show. Our first story today is about the comments that Coach Prime made on Buff's Primetime. Coach was asked about the game tonight, and his responses shocked a lot of the media. He said, "Who makes these 8 o'clock games? Dumbest things ever. Stupidest thing ever invented in life. Who wants to stay up until 8 o'clock for a darn game? What about the East Coast? Do they even care about ratings? Is anyone watching it? What are we supposed to do with the kids all day until 8 o'clock? What are we supposed to do in the hotel?" So first off, I want to stop here and say, as someone who has 3 kids, who has taken them to several games, thank you, Coach Prime, for speaking out for all of the fathers out there. Last week, we had half the country watching the game on Pirate Joe's YouTube stream because so many stations didn't have the Pac-12 network. And this week, it's going to be on at midnight for half the country. Over 120 million viewers on the East Coast are probably not going to see halftime and beyond. And it's not like we're talking about some random college team here today. We're talking about the number 1 most watched college football team in the country, even after getting ripped off last week. So a few days ago, we said we didn't want to break out the tinfoil hat, but come on now. That tinfoil hat is whispering some sweet nothings in my ear right now. It's trying to take me out on a date. Now, okay, all joking aside, the vast majority of recruits come from the East Coast. Florida, Georgia, North Carolina, Virginia, Washington, D.C., Maryland. These are huge recruiting areas. And Coach Prime knows that what he is doing and what he is building in Boulder is so much more than just a football program. He knows it's so much more than just a football team. He's building a culture. He's building a way of life. He's building something for future generations and building something with these young men that will last forever. And he knows that his brand should be seen. It should be put on full display. And unfortunately, the West Coast just does not have the same kind of viewership the East Coast does. And so by putting Coach Prime on this late at night, you're limiting that reach. You're limiting that exposure. It also, he mentioned, takes a little bit of a toll on the team. You got the kids in the hotel all day. They're antsy. They're jittery. They're ready to go. Tough situation to be in. I get it. Just a late game. We're going to be up watching. I might have a couple of Red Bulls up with me while I try and stay up for the game, but we're going to do our very best to stay up and watch it, and we'll bring you coverage on it the next day, I'm sure. Now, during the same interview, Coach had some more to get off of his chest. It wasn't just the kickoff of the game. If you want to hear that, we're going to get to it in just a moment, but do me a favor. If you're enjoying the content, smash that subscribe button down below. We appreciate you guys. We love you, and we thank you for the support. Help support us by doing just that. Now, in regards to the Pac-12, he said, "Thank God we're not going to be in this conference." Can I get a hallelujah? Colorado was one of the earlier teams to arrange to exit this conference. And the truth is, Coach Prime and the leadership there in Colorado knew the value of getting to the Big 12. He knew the value of getting on TV earlier and playing more games in bigger recruiting states. He knew that the Pac-12 wasn't being run properly. He knew that they were showing games too late at night and not reaching a lot of East Coast viewers and recruits. Also, he knows this is a football game, and he doesn't want his commercials on his football game lined up with late night cheesy infomercials, which I'm sure we're going to get. We're trying to watch football, not get our fortune read by Miss Cleo at 2 a.m. We're trying to watch Coach Prime, not buy a Bowflex or a ShamWow. Next up, let's talk about Shedeur Sanders and the amount of NIL money he's reportedly making. Recently on Undisputed, they said Shedeur was making $4.8 million per year. So let's break this down. That's $2 million more than Arch Manning. That's $2.1 million more than Heisman Trophy winner Caleb Williams. And personally, I think this is great news. I'm ecstatic for the young man, and he deserves every single penny that he earns. He's making the Boulder community hundreds of millions of dollars, so it's definitely a fair deal. But what's even more important is what this means for Colorado's prospects of landing other major 5 stars once Shedeur goes to the NFL. This is the type of money that would make each and every 5-star quarterback in the country think long and hard about Boulder. It's certainly a good position for Coach Prime, for the recruiting efforts there in Boulder to be in. Now, obviously, being Coach Prime's son has a little bit to do with some things, but if you go out to Boulder and you ball out as the quarterback under Deion Sanders and under that Colorado spotlight, which the entire nation is consumed with right now, you're going to be in line for some pretty nice NIL deals. And rightfully so. These kids deserve it. It's awesome to see. And I'm glad Undisputed and others are bragging on these kids and giving them the shine that they absolutely deserve. Next up, let's talk about some recent comments that Coach Prime made to an NFL scout. Well Off Media, on their channel, Coach Prime hinted that he would like his sons to experience that same experience and feeling in Atlanta. He told Falcon scout Rich Sanders to draft both sons, both Shedeur and Shiloh. He said, "We ain't coming back unless we bring the Sanders boys to the A." Both of them. Now, just a heads up, the Falcon scout, again, that's Rich Sanders, but he is unrelated. So let's run through this. First off, how cool would it be if the Falcons drafted both of Deion's sons? That would be next level. Watching Coach Prime play for the Falcons was amazing. The epic battles between he and Jerry Rice and others. But to run this back with the Sanders duo would create a huge number of new Dirty Birds fans. If it happens, we may start covering Falcons games on Sunday because I know that the way you guys have flocked to support Coach Prime is the same way that you will support his family at the next level. Now, I'd love to have Shedeur back next year. I think there's a chance that we make a run at the Big 12 championship with Shedeur back next year, and maybe even that 12-team playoff. But if he goes to the league this year, it would sure be a lot of fun to see both of the Sanders boys in Atlanta. Probably not a better way that you could script it. People think about when Bronny will play. Could he possibly play in LA with LeBron? Could that be something that happens? Would LeBron go to where he is? Wherever it ends up being, this would be special. And for a different reason, but this would be very, very special. We'll see what happens with it. I love that Coach Prime always uses humor, and the clip from Well Off Media, who does a phenomenal job, is great. You should go check that out. We link them every time we do a video in the description. We appreciate what they do for Coach Prime, and we appreciate you guys for tuning in, for being part of this family, part of what we do here at the Prime Time for College Football. We appreciate the support. We hope you stay up late and watch the game tonight. Maybe we'll throw up a post or two, maybe interact with you while the game is going on. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for your love and your support. We'll talk to you soon here on the Prime Time for College Football.